Jürgen Klopp. He made Dortmund Bundesliga champion, he won the Champions League and the Premier League with Liverpool, and players and fans love him.
Maybe he's the best manager in the world.
But how did a guy that never played First League football make it as one of the most successful and popular coaches in the world? Here is the incredible underdog story of Jürgen Klopp. Klopp was born in 1967 and grew up in a small village in the Black Forest. But in 1990, a dream came true for him. The second division Bundesliga club Mainz noticed him during a game and gave him a contract. And at the age of 23, Jürgen Klopp became a professional football player. In total, he played for Mainz for 11 years, first as a striker, and then later in defense. And even back then, he had fun being in front of the camera.
Und wir wollen in die erste Liga, so wie du ins Samstagabendprogramm.
During his time at Mainz, they were almost relegated for 7 times, but the club always managed to stay in the second Bundesliga. And in total, Klopp played 325 games and scored 52 goals. But then, the 2001 season. Mainz wasn't playing well and was in danger of relegation once again. And Klopp had just been injured in a game, and the club management made a difficult decision that would change the future of Mainz and Klopp forever. They fired the coach, and the 33-year-old Klopp was made interims manager until the end of the season.
Auf einmal waren die Jungs, mit denen du weiter per Du warst, du warst der Chef von denen. Wie war das? War das für dich komisch oder war das für die anderen eher merkwürdig?
In vielen Bereichen war ich das schon der Chef davor, ohne das sein zu wollen. Ich war einer der ältesten Spieler in der Mannschaft. Wenn die Jungs nicht, oder ich den anderen Weise nicht genug gelaufen, habe ich ihnen schon gesagt, als ich selber noch das Trikot anhatte.
And he achieved the incredible. Under his leadership, Mainz won 6 of the first 7 games and managed to stay in the league. After the season, the club made Jürgen the new permanent head coach, and then the surprise next season. Klopp formed a team that believed in itself. He knew how to motivate players and was already using his famous counter-pressing back then. And also back then, his celebrations were wild. At the end of the 2001-2002 season, Mainz finished 4th in the second Bundesliga and missed promotion by just 1 point. Next season, they wanted to achieve promotion, but then the tragedy. It's the last matchday of the 2002-2003 season. Mainz and Frankfurt are tied on points and are fighting for 3rd place. Mainz played against Eintracht Braunschweig and they led 4-0. They were currently in the promotion spot, but then
Ist doch noch einmal spannend.
Braunschweig with a 4-1. But Mainz was still 3rd due to the better goal difference. But then the shock.
Frankfurter schießt Eintracht Frankfurt in die Bundesliga.
Frankfurt scored 3 goals in stoppage time and therefore had 1 more goal than Mainz, who didn't get promoted once again. That would change in the 2003-2004 season. Led by their coach, Mainz became 3rd and everyone went crazy.
Wir sind in der ersten Liga!
Then the 2004-2005 season, Bundesliga, and many expected that Mainz wouldn't have a chance. I mean, they had the least amount of money at their disposal out of all of the 18 teams in the Bundesliga. But Klopp did the impossible once again, and Mainz finished 11th. A year later, in the 2005-2006 season, the next surprise. Thanks to the UEFA Fair Play rating, they were allowed to take part in the UEFA Cup qualification. They beat Ashtarak from Armenia and Keflavik from Iceland, but then lost to the future UEFA Cup winner, Sevilla. Nevertheless, the team was inspired by the European Games and finished again 11th in the Bundesliga. But the next year was a big disappointment for Klopp. In the 2006-2007 Bundesliga season, Mainz finished 16th and was relegated back to the second Bundesliga.
Und das die Reaktion.
Many expected the coach to go somewhere else, but he didn't want to just leave his club like that. And Mainz played well, but they narrowly missed out on promotion and only finished 4th in the second Bundesliga. And now the time had come. Jürgen Klopp and all of Mainz knew that he had to take the next step. And Klopp left Mainz in 2008 after 18 years.
Alles, was ich bin, habt ihr mich werden lassen. Alles.
Many teams had their eye on the up-and-coming coach, Hamburg, Bayern, but Klopp decided on another club, Dortmund. They had almost gone bankrupt a couple of years before and weren't playing great football. This season before, they had just finished 13th in the Bundesliga, but Klopp had big plans. He gave the players self-confidence and let them play his counter-pressing. And then, a few days before the start of the Bundesliga season, the first big surprise. July 2008, Super Cup in Germany, Bundesliga champion and cup winner FC Bayern against Dortmund. And Dortmund won. But even then, no one could have imagined how much Jürgen Klopp would change Dortmund. At the end of the season, Dortmund finished in 6th place in the Bundesliga. A sensation. And another surprise in the 2009-2010 season. Dortmund played well and finished 5th and qualified for the Europa League. But then the next season, that changed everything. Dortmund had a young team with talents like Mario Götze, Nuri Sahin and Mats Hummels. Plus experienced players like Roman Weidenfeller and Sebastian Kehl. Plus, Dortmund and Klopp had big plans, and they wanted to prove it in the first game against Leverkusen. But then they lost 2-0. But that defeat was followed by 14 wins in the next 15 games. And even after that, Dortmund played brilliant football. And led by Klopp, Dortmund became Bundesliga champion.
Wann ging's denn ins Bett? Das weiß ich nicht so genau, aber nachgerechnet heute Morgen habe ich 4 Stunden, 2 Stunden geschlafen, sowas.
Bayern was angry, and everyone expected Dortmund to struggle the following season. But then they played outstandingly and became champions again with 81 points, the first club in the Bundesliga to exceed the 80-point mark.
The champions, 2 times on the trot.
But the season wasn't over for Klopp. A week after winning the Bundesliga, an important game in Berlin, German Cup final against Bayern Munich.
Einschuss, Schweinsteiger, Lewandowski 4-1 ab.
Incredible. Dortmund won 5-2, and Klopp and his team knocked Bayern off the German football throne in the most brutal way and won the Double for the first time for Dortmund.
Und schon wieder deutscher Meister, singen die Fans.
Ja.
Deutscher Meister 2012, Borussia Dortmund.
In so einer starken Liga, mit so einer unglaublichen Punktausbeute deutscher Meister werden, wenn man nicht komplett bereit ist, ständig bereit ist. Entschuldigung.
Ja, ist schon ein bisschen was drin von dem Getränk.
Man muss nach Brinkops muss man ab und zu aufstoßen.
Also jetzt haben wir es ja gehört, jetzt müssen wir es ja nicht noch sehen.
Ja. So?
Ja.
Klopp and Dortmund, that was a perfect fit. He was extremely popular in the club, with the players and throughout the city. And also during the 2012-2013 season, they played amazing football, nationally and internationally.
Schafeuer, guter Ball, Sieber!
In the Champions League, they didn't lose a single game in the group stage and came first, ahead of Manchester City, Real Madrid and Ajax. They won the knockout game against Donetsk and met Malaga in the quarterfinals. The first game ended in a draw, but the second leg didn't go too well. It was already injury time and Dortmund was 1-2 behind, but then Reus with a goal. But that still wouldn't be enough. They needed another goal. Santana in the last seconds with the winning goal. Klopp and the whole stadium went crazy.
Unbelievable. What then happens in this stadium, it was crazy.
Then they beat Real Madrid and marched all the way to the Champions League final, where they faced Bayern Munich. Munich had just won the championship race in the Bundesliga against Dortmund, and it didn't start so well for Klopp. 1-0 for Bayern, but Gündogan was able to equalize. But then, in the 89th minute, Robben with the winning goal. Klopp so close to winning the Champions League, but in the end, just disappointment.
Aber im Moment ist natürlich die Enttäuschung noch groß, aber das denke ich ist ja normal, wenn man sich etwas so sehr wünscht, dann tut es auch richtig weh, wenn man es nicht bekommt.
In the 2013-2014 season, they came second again in the Bundesliga and lost the German Cup final, again against Bayern Munich. Klopp wanted to attack again the following year, but things turned out different than everyone thought. Dortmund played extremely poorly and was even in last place in the Bundesliga for some time. Hence the decision by Klopp and Dortmund in April 2015. After 7 years, they would end the collaboration because the coach had the feeling that the team needed a new input.
Und habe festgestellt, dass ich in den vergangenen Wochen und Tagen mir zwar nicht sicher war, dass ich es nicht mehr bin, aber ich konnte diese Frage auch nicht eindeutig mit Ja beantworten.
In the end, Dortmund fought their way to the 7th place in the table and they made it to the German Cup final against Wolfsburg. Was that gonna be the happy ending? I mean, it started well.
Und dann Kagawa für Aubameyang!
But then
Ronaldo längere kann ihn nicht festhalten, Gustavo!
Wolfsburg won 3-1 and a sad Klopp left Dortmund.
Just look at the emotion.
Then, on October 8, 2015, the big surprise, Klopp was back on the football stage and took over the Premier League club, Liverpool. They were in 10th place and didn't play good football, but Klopp did what he did at Mainz and Dortmund. He created a positive atmosphere, he gave the players self-confidence and played his infamous counter-pressing. And when he was introduced, the press immediately loved him.
So I'm a totally normal guy. I'm the normal one, maybe, if you want this.
At the end of the season, he and his team reached 8th place in the Premier League, and he also led his team to the League Cup final against Manchester City, but they lost on penalties.
Celebration time at Wembley.
But hey, just a few days later, they wanted to make up for this defeat, as Liverpool played in the Europa League final.
Spins to Koke.
1-3. Klopp lost another final. In the 2016-17 and 2017-18 season, Liverpool finished 4th in the Premier League. Klopp's tactic and excellent players like Salah, Mane, Henderson and new signing Van Dijk were a huge hit.
He's got the big chance, he's got the big goal!
But the happy end everyone was waiting for was on May 26, 2018 in Kiev. Champions League final. Defending champions Real Madrid against Liverpool.
We've got the option to Marcelo and then Karius.
Liverpool goalkeeper Karius with 2 goalkeeper mistakes. Klopp and the fans couldn't believe it. Liverpool lost and Klopp lost a European Cup final for the 3rd time.
2 big errors tonight, but obviously that cost you greatly.
Yeah, what can I say?
New players were bought for the 2018-19 squad, such as Keita and Fabinho, as well as the Brazilian goalkeeper Alisson.
Watched all the way by Alisson.
And Liverpool played outstandingly. I mean, one example was the derby against Everton. It was 0-0 and we are in the 6th minute of stoppage time.
Away as far as Virgil van Dijk. It's off the crossbar. Has it been put in? It has. Divock Origi has played.
They got a whooping 97 points in the Premier League, but only came second behind Manchester City, who had 1 point more. Another season to forget? No, because they made it to the Champions League final again, this time against Tottenham Hotspurs.
Yeah. Oh, it comes to Divock Origi! It doesn't get any better than this!
Liverpool won. Klopp, who had lost so many finals, had reached the top.
I'm so happy for the boys, I'm so happy for these people, for our fans. I'm so happy for my family. They suffer every year when we go to a final, last game of the season and we lose it. So they deserve it more than anybody because they are so supportive like they are. Did you ever see a team like this?
In the following season, Liverpool ran away from the competition and won the Premier League with 99 points. Second, Manchester City had 18 points less, and in just 4 years, Klopp had turned a mediocre team into an absolutely top team. And also the next years, they played great football. In 2022, they won the FA Cup and the EFL Cup in England and reached the Champions League final again, but lost to Madrid again. But if Klopp has shown us one thing, it's that he always gets back on his feet after defeats and starts stronger than before. And I mean, Liverpool is looking strong again this year.
Goes again across the face of goal and in.
Jürgen Klopp, regardless of Mainz, Dortmund or Liverpool, people love his emotions, love his football and love him.